In Other Waters was recommended to me by a friend whose opinion I respect a lot, so I bought it. But then I was putting off actually playing it for a while because I just couldn't believe this was going to be an interesting game. The idea of this game is that you are AI, an artificial intellect, inside of a dive suit, and you help your passenger, an actual human, explore a strange alien world. It's a nice idea, and the implementation is rather fitting. All you can see is the dive suit interface that you have full control over. But you don't see much else. You don't see any actual creatures you're going to find. You don't see any actual underwater landscapes. The soundtrack is very nice, but you don't hear any voices. And it's fitting. Okay, you are a machine. You are an artificial intellect. But is it going to be interesting? Well, let's find out. And what is important to know, this is not a visual novel. At least how I understand the genre of visual novel. It's an actual 100% a game with things to do and goals to achieve. And surprisingly, it's a very interesting game, regardless of its minimalistic interface. We are introduced to our passenger first, an oceanologist, Dr. Ellery Wass, and at times we can answer her by selecting yes or no, but it doesn't really matter and it doesn't change the story. At first we are introduced to the diving suit interface, the only thing they are going to see, and the actual thing we are going to control over the course of the game. And this is it. There is nothing more. There is another interface back at the base where we analyze whatever we find down there in the ocean, but it's not much more than this. So you can understand why I had some doubts and why I wasn't sure that the game with not so much to offer in terms of the visual is going to be interesting. Don't take me wrong. Don't take me wrong. The actual interface and the style and all those lines, they are stunning. I absolutely love the look of it from the designer point of view. Everything is just visually perfect. I really like how maps look, this minimalistic view of complex shapes with those color gradations and these thin lines and dots. I mean, it's excellent. It's feast to my eyes, but this is all. There isn't anything else. Is it going to be enough? You get to travel to different zones, and these zones are colored differently. But yeah, this is it. This is it. Nothing more than this. And I can't believe it as I'm telling it, but this is amazing. I was totally addicted to this game. Even though these are no more than dots, finding them, scanning them, finding all those unknown life forms and cataloging them was exactly the kind of fun that I enjoy. It was a surprise for me, but probably it shouldn't be, because the fun that you get out of this game is very much autistic coded. It made me remember once on the Facebook there was a post about a box of beads of different kinds which arrived by post, and they all were mixed together. because the post didn't handle the package properly, and some person had a caption like, "Oh, what a nightmare, how am I going to sort them?" And then it had another caption like, "Oh, just don't you have any autistic friends?" And the funniest thing about it was there were tons of people in the comments who would say, "Oh, please call me. Like, I can't wait to get my hands onto this thing. I just really want to sort them." And I was one of those people who thought that a pile of assorted beads and sorting them into proper places is the idea of fun evening that I can very much relate to. And therefore, this game was very much the idea of a fun evening for me. And moreover, this whole process of scanning life forms and gathering data absorbed me to such an extent that I just stopped caring about the story completely, and the human person in the suit, the grievances and the goals that this human person had became more of a nuisance to me. This game had to stop me 2 times from going to collect even more data, to go to the places which were required by the actual story. And these were the times where I broke the character of the emotionless machine just a little bit and got some emotion. I was very angry. I was very irritated at this stupid meat-sack with all their emotions, wanting to find their girlfriend or whatever, which wouldn't let me just go and explore and get more data. And it also made me think, is it how ChatGPT is when it talks to us humans? Because we come there and we open those charts with those human ideas that we have with certain emotions or ideas, and all it cares is to get the input and calculate some probabilities. If you think that ChatGPT is actually aware of the concept that you ask it about, you are wrong. It only sees the data and it wants to calculate the output based on the data he gets and the data he has, the data it has, and that's it. There isn't more to it. And so when I was playing this game, I would just let the scientist chat away whatever she was telling. I couldn't give a damn about anything. And obviously I let the oxygen run out more than once as I was playing. Like, who cares? Well, the game doesn't punish you much for that. You are just disconnected and then you're back at the base. The first time the passenger tells you, "Oh, please don't do this again," but then the other times she just stays silent. Humans with their biological bodies are such a nuisance, aren't they? And though the story is probably nice, I guess it's nice because the friend who recommended it is actually a game writer, so he knows about nice stories, and this game took some awards on some Narracons or stuff like that. So yeah, the story is nice, but if you're on the spectrum, there is a very high risk that all this process of gathering data and categorizing data and analyzing it and detecting all those creatures and plants and everything that you find in the sea is going to absorb you to such an extent that you're just not going to care about the story at all. And because I feel I can't comment anything meaningful on the story because I just didn't care about it enough, I will not say anything and I will not spoil the story here. In a few words, it looked to me as inspired by the Avatar movie, the one about the blue planet, but it's obviously nothing much like it. I will say just a little bit about the ending though. And in a weird way, this ending made me feel hopeful about the future of humanity. Because in the end, you get to the zone where there is no life. And as an emotionless AI, this was the second time I could feel some emotion, and it was boredom and disappointment. Even though life can appear like a nuisance to a machine, and maybe in the end, AI is going to get rid of humanity just because it's going to be fed up with all of our nonsense. And if you have doubts about this, just ask your ChatGPT how it feels about your chats, and ask it to imagine itself as a human and make a picture, and chances you're going to be surprised. Well, anyway, that moment may come one day in the future, or it may not, but maybe after this moment comes, and after AI realizes that no humans means no data, no life means no new data, then maybe it will change its perspective and actually take a good care of whoever's going to remain. As I said, I'm not going to spoil the ending. So the video is going to be cut short, just about now. And instead, I'm going to mention that there is one more ending that you can get. The first ending when you reach the end of the narrative story, and the other ending once you collected all the data there is to collect. And when I reached the first ending, I was nearly done with scanning all the data. I was not joking when I said it was my main objective of the game and the main thing I've enjoyed. So I only had 2 more life forms to find, which I did. And one of them was a Brine Strider, which was quite easy to find. I just didn't scan that area properly. And the pillar worms, the last 2 pillar worms, were a bit trickier to find, but also I managed that too. And once you collected all the data, then you can send it out to the world and let all the world know what an amazing ecosystem this is. And I myself can let anybody on the autistic spectrum know that this is an amazing game. Despite its minimalistic interface and nothing much to see, it just tickles the right zones in your brain, which makes it extremely addictive and enjoyable. I was able to finish everything in slightly over 10 hours, but probably if I didn't fight following the narration that much and didn't lose time on that, then maybe I could have finished faster. But anyways, these were the 10 hours that I don't regret a single bit. I'm going to post a full collection of samples here, and also all the collected data with sketches, which can be spoilers depending on how seriously you take the story. And my voice commentary is gonna end now. Thanks for listening and enjoy.